I've got to go out.
So what should I do? Don't need to resist it. Don't need to pray. Don't need to resist it. I don't do what I've been told. You're so like white.
That's it. Come on. No.
Stop, where'd he go? Why?